Hey folks, Jonathan here. Got our new turbo. Actually got it a day earlier than we were supposed to, which is a good thing. Now this is the, I guess, the cheap aftermarket version of the HX30, I guess whole set, I'm assuming is who made it. But it came on the 4BT Cummins, and this is just a Chinese version, and it's an HX30W. Supposed to be good turbos. We're going to put it on and see how she does. Came with the gasket and the ports if you want to. Well, this one's actually threaded, but hopefully that's a common thread. You know, they look like they're Boss fittings with O-rings, but I think it might be something kind of weird, but we'll figure it out. They also come with a test sheet for vibration, and it claims it passed. Which don't mean a lot to me, but you know, they got the RPMs on there up to 9,000, I guess, or close to it, RPMs, and then they've got lines that go up to 5.5, 6, but you know, they don't say what they mean. So like I said, it don't mean anything to me. It says rotation speed, but it don't say anything else, so no big deal. But couple things on this. The fitting coming off here is going to be a flange and a clamp. We make the flange, but we don't have any clamps, so we'll have to come up with what we need for that. I wasn't sure how this was going to come, and you know, I like the kinds that just slide on and clamp, but that's okay, we can work with it. Exhaust looks like it's going to be 2.5 maybe. Don't think it's 3, but 2.5. But you know, we'll just got to adapt around that, and I'm going to stick it on there real quick and just show you a couple things. Okay, here she is sitting in on the engine. You can see it's got a pressure operated wastegate, and what it is when this reaches the PSI of boost that you know, that you want, it'll actually push and open a wastegate. A wastegate, all it does is redirect the exhaust. Instead of going through the turbo to spin it, it just redirects it away from it and lets it right back out the pipe. So you know, that's pretty simple. As you can see, if you look down in there, it's threaded and adjustable, which is a good thing. If you want to increase your boost, you can change it by that. Let me see, we're going to have to index it. This will be our port going in. We really need it on top, so what you do is take this loose, and it's got a big snap ring around this part, but we'll take this loose first and we'll bring it up to where that's on top, and then we can, you know, just clamp on the snap ring and turn this where we want it to locate it. So everything's indexable on it. Makes it pretty neat, and we've got, looks like we're gonna have plenty of room for our exhaust. We can come out and down and, you know, run it right through the hole there and take it back, and shouldn't be a problem there. I mean, I got to take my manifold back off. I've just got it, you know, stuck on there. I don't have the right bolts yet. You know, everything on this block is actually metric, and I've got to pick up, you know, the bolts I need for that, and I've got gaskets for it. I've got the gasket for that, it came with it, and you know, the flanges was the same, so it fit on there good, no problem there. And the only thing I see is if we index this very far that way, we'll have to extend this hose. And but we're going to get on that and see if we can get an oil line made and hooked up, and go from there with it. We'll probably just go get a braided line made at a buddy of mine has a hydraulic shop. That won't be a problem. And starting to rain on me here, so we'll stay under the hood. But I want to paint this with ceramic paint, or I can wrap it with exhaust wrap. Either way, and we'll get that done. But we'll get on it and see if we can get it where we can run it with a turbo. Alright, show you more. Okay folks, we're going to start by indexing the turbo around where we can get this oil line, return line on the bottom, and the other one up on the top. Just loosen the clamp up. I don't have the turbo tight on the manifold yet, but just a little bit more. Alright. And we know it'll move. So what we want to do now is go in and grab that spring clamp, which works like a snap ring. I think we'll take it out here for a second. That'll make it a lot easier. Alright. That's how we want it, with the little line on top. See if we can get this back in. Just put it on top and then we'll spin it back around. Sure it's on good. We'll spin it to the inside here. Alright. That's about all there is to it. I'm going to actually turn this. I don't want this clamp to be anywhere around our oil fitting, so spin it back around here. Alright, that's all there is to it to index it. And like I said, we can turn this. We just need to we'll have to put a longer hose on it if we want to turn it this way. But I'm not going to do anything with that yet until we figure out our piping and how we're going to do it. And whether we're going to run it direct. I don't have room for an intercooler on this, and don't have an intercooler that'll fit it. So we'll run it just like it is, and then we'll do something on the intake. This will be our intake for it, and we will run. We can either run a filter right here at the front, like we did on the other one, or we can run this around and put an air box on the opposite side, or build one for this side. It'd be kind of nice to build something to where the air coming in will sort of force in. Plus, if you can get it to draw fresh air, it's going to be cool air. If you get it from here, it's going to be actually, hot air from the engine. So it works just like the radiator. The cooler the air you can get into your turbo, the better it's going to run. And it sure is nice and smooth. I've never had a new turbo, and I don't buy a lot of new parts, as most of you know. But I wanted to get the right size for this, and this is actually for a 4BT Cummins, which is a same cubic inch as this engine, so we should be able to make some decent boost with it. But we'll keep at it, and we'll get some flange clamps hunted up, and then we've got to figure out this fitting of what thread that is, and we'll just keep at it. And the bottom oil return, it's just a flange with 2 bolts, so we'll have to make a flange. Luckily, I've got a gasket there I can use as reference, and there's actually 2 gaskets here, one for the top, which is smaller, and of course they're not using the flange, but one for the bottom. So we'll make a plate, probably out of 3/8 or quarter, that's just like that, and then we'll thread it, put a pipe fitting in it, and we'll run it back into our return, which on the other one we used here. we can actually return it. We may end up taking that pipe off, and let me see, we can take this pipe off of it and come right into the side of it, maybe weld a flange in it or something for a return. I'm not sure what was here. If we can figure that out, we might be able to return it there. Anywhere to get it to go into the pan. There's actually a plug down there, and I can check it out maybe with the you can see it there with the Allen head, but that would be a nice one because it's already pipe thread. But anything to return your oil back into your oil pan. And then where our oil pressure sending unit is, we'll actually tee off. We'll run one to the turbo and run one to the gauge, and that'll take care of that. But I'll show you more as we go. Okay folks, I know this is kind of hard to see because of the light situation, but got our manifold, got it checked up in the surface grinder, and we're going to surface grind these flanges before we mount it permanent. And I'll just show you. You can see the light there. I don't see none there. There's a little bit of light shining through. Well, you can really see it right there. But you know, you get warpage like that. Even though I had it bolted down good and tight, it still, you know, it pulled, and then when you take it loose, it actually flexes. But now our holes line up fine, so we're good there. But we're just going to go ahead and surface grind this, and that way, you know, we know it'll be exactly right. I'll get rolling on that. Okay, we got it surfaced. They're both, you know, exactly in plane with each other, and you can see a little bit around the edge on both of them, but really don't matter. The gasket actually sits right here. I've got some new gaskets coming for it too, so it should do it. Should do it just fine. So we're going to get some paint on this thing. I got some header paint that I'm going to paint it with, and then this thing, get my gaskets, and I'll be ready to put it on for good. All right, show you more. Okay folks, I'm going to go ahead and end this video before it gets too dark, but I just want to show you a few things. I've got my clamps. These are called V-band clamps. They're just band clamp, but they've got a V inside of them, and as they tighten down, they actually force your two pieces together, and that's what goes right here and what goes on the exhaust side. So we've got this is what we're going to use on the pipes. Some of this, couple things I bought, but I've kept an eye out in some of these junk cars, you know, some of the little Hondas and stuff I get in, and I've taken some of this stuff out, and I had a buddy drop me off some that he had that was extra for free. So you know, I don't have much, you know, money in this stuff, which is a good thing. But I've got to make the piece. I'm going to turn it out of a billet aluminum that will go into here, and that band clamp will go on, and then it's going to come into my pipe, and that'll be my intake pipe. And like I said, I'm not running an intercooler, so, but we'll get that done. And our oil line and our oil return line, our manifold's on permanent. Sprayed it with ceramic heat paint, and I think it's supposed to be good for 1300 to 2000 degrees. So we'll see. It may discolor, but you know, then again, it may not. But there she is so far, and we'll keep at it here, and maybe the next time we can fire it up with the turbo on it. And you can see where I indexed the turbo, my pressure line is going to be too short, so I've got to extend it. But everything else is looking pretty good, and like I said, the exhaust is not going to be a problem. We got plenty of clearance, and we'll just shoot it down and go right down through in between the bell housing and the frame, and take it on back. I may run I've got another 5-inch stack. I may run a stack out the bed on this one on the passenger side, just like I did the rat rod build, just to be doing it, I guess. But anyway, there she is so far, and we'll keep at it and get her finished up. Appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye.